The email came at 7:12 a.m. I was halfway through my morning coffee, quiet, black, exactly how he hated it. The subject line read, "Let's make this easy." Attached were divorce papers and a photo. Him, her, in our vacation home. His hand on her thigh, her laugh frozen mid-giggle. The same view behind them, the sea I once called ours. His message was short. "The house is mine now. Don't make this ugly." I stared at the screen, the steam from my cup curling like smoke from a gun I hadn't fired yet. I typed back, "Are you sure about that?" Then I blocked his number, his email, his name, and I waited. We met when I was 26. He called me his anchor, I called him my storm. Back then, the chaos was exciting. The late-night drives, the promises whispered between exhaustion and ambition. He said we were a team. I believed him. When he started coming home later, I told myself he was just busy. When his shirts smelled like a perfume that wasn't mine, I told myself it was from the office. When he started locking his phone, I stopped asking questions. Because love, when it's dying, doesn't go out with noise. It fades quietly, like a song that once moved you, but now just fills the room with something you can't bear to turn off. Until that morning, that email, that photo. I didn't cry. Tears would have been too easy for him, confirmation that he still had power. Instead, I opened my planner, the same one he'd once mocked me for keeping. "You and your little lists," he'd say. Those lists built his company, his empire, his life. Every vendor, every contract, every offshore account, every password he'd once trusted me to handle. When someone shows you they can discard you, you learn to make yourself unforgettable. The first step was quiet. A single email. To our lawyer. Subject, Joint Assets Review. He thought the vacation house was his. He forgot I bought it under my LLC when we were expanding the company. I paid the taxes. I handled the transfers. He signed where I told him. By noon, that house, his new playground, was legally, undeniably mine. By evening, the utilities were cut, the locks changed, and by nightfall, his name was gone from every document that once tied us together. I didn't stop there. He loved image more than truth, the illusion of success, the polished smile. So I slipped the truth into the cracks of his perfection. A single forwarded thread, from his personal email to a board member's wife. He shouldn't have sent her those photos, or those words. He shouldn't have bragged about creative accounting. By morning, the board was calling an emergency meeting. By lunch, his accounts were frozen. By sunset, he was suspended pending investigation. I didn't gloat. I just brewed another coffee. Black, quiet. He came back 3 days later, stormed through the front door like a man reclaiming what was his. Except it wasn't his anymore. The locks had changed. The paintings were gone. Even the faint echo of his scent had been replaced by jasmine. Mine. He saw me sitting in the kitchen, the same spot I always sat. He looked around, confused, desperate. "Where is she?" he demanded. "Gone," I said. "Like your job, like your accounts." His jaw clenched. "You can't." I already did. He tried to laugh. "You'll regret this." I tilted my head. I did. Once. Then the door behind him opened, and he walked in, calm, composed, my lawyer, and the man who'd stood by quietly through every paper signed, every asset transferred, every thread tied. He placed a hand on my shoulder. "Everything's finalized," he said. Then, to my husband, "You'll be hearing from our counsel." My husband froze. His lips parted, eyes darting between us, realization settling like acid. The color drained from his face as it clicked. He wasn't the one in control. He never was. When he left, he didn't slam the door. He just stood there, hollow, like a man staring at the wreckage he built himself. I didn't watch him go. I didn't need to. I picked up my coffee cup, still warm. The silence in the room was beautiful. Not empty, not lonely, just mine. He thought taking the house meant taking my life, but all he did was give me space to build a new one, brick by brick, plan by plan, truth by truth. They say revenge doesn't bring peace. They're wrong. It doesn't bring peace, it brings clarity. And sometimes clarity is all you need to finally breathe again. When he returned, he found out who took his place. Not a lover, not a stranger, me, the woman he underestimated, the one who finished her coffee and rewrote the ending.